Hello, this is Pastor Al, and this is a message on what to look for in a spouse. When a person is first born, their heart beats 140 beats per minute. And over a period of their lives, the heart beats slower and slower and slower. And finally, in old age, a person's heart is only beating 70 beats a minute, and then finally it stops. And so this causes young people to be more emotional, and middle-aged people to be more pensive, and elderly people to be more habitual. And so if somebody gets married too young, like as a teenager, they tend to marry for emotion. And after the honeymoon wears off, the emotion of the honeymoon wears off, then the reality of paying the rent and paying the car bills and buying the food and clothes and insurance and the responsibilities of life set in, and a person says, wow, I should have established my career first. And the Bible says in Proverbs 24:27, it says, establish your career first and then get married. And so if we follow God's plan, then our marriages will get off on the right foot, and they'll have a lot more success. It has been said that 54% of all the divorces in America are over money. And if we only have a high school degree, we're adding stress to our marriage. But when we get a college degree and we establish our career first, then we get off on the right foot. And I have noticed that these three things are always present in couples where they have a lot of marital stress and they ask for marital counseling. And one lady, her husband she'd gotten married and she had a baby girl, and she came to the home Bible studies for many years, and we prayed with her. And her husband, in 8 years of marriage, had mostly been unemployed and had never paid the rent, not even once. And so we saw that this, and in other marriages, that the person that was causing all the problem and all the grief hadn't graduated from college, couldn't drive or couldn't pass the driving test, and could not hold down a professional job. Just holding a minimum wage job, flipping hamburgers, or working as some manual labor job isn't going to be enough to pay the bills. And so in order to get married and to get off on the right foot, the Bible says to establish your career first and then get married. Proverbs 24:27. And it has been said that in a man, you should look for a provider, a protector, and a pastor. Somebody that can provide for the family, that can protect the family, and that is spiritual, that has good vision and clear thinking. And in a woman, we have the Proverbs 31 woman, where the wise woman, she works diligently, her family is always well clothed, never in need. She buys a vineyard and plants. She buys a piece of land, plants a vineyard, perceives that her gain is good, and she's praised by her husband, and that's the Proverbs 31 woman. And so what we should do is we should look at stewardesses in America. They have the least rate of divorce, and there's a reason for that. Stewardesses, they meet people that are on round flights, that are going back and forth to some job, and they're consultants, and they're in accounting, business, inventory, purchasing, whatever they're doing. They're working with computers maybe. And these people are established in their career, they're making good money. And the stewardess, she meets a lot of people, talks to a lot of people, gets to be a good judge of personalities, and she marries somebody that has a balanced personality and that is established in their career. And so of course the marriage is going to get off on a good foot, and there's going to be less divorce. When people get married too young, and they get married just for emotion, then you're starting off on the wrong foot. And so what you need to do is you need to ask the person that you're thinking of marrying, you need to ask yourself about this person. Am I the only person in the world that this person loves? If they hate their parents and hate their teachers and hate their boss and hates everybody around them, but they say that they love you, probably it's only emotional. And when the emotion of the honeymoon wears off, then possibly that person will also be unfaithful. So that's one thing to look at. So remember the moral of the stewardesses: make a lot of friends, be friendly with a lot of people, but don't get involved with somebody unless they're a good candidate for a marriage. This has been Pastor Al. Have a nice day. Bye bye.